Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy beginning of the week. Happy Tuesday. We are live. We are going to be talking about a juicy topic today: how to nurture a lead from cold to close. Very excited to teach on this topic today. As you're dropping in, drop me a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Always cool to see who is tuning in and from where. So just go ahead and drop a comment. Also love to learn. Tell me what you want to learn today as it relates to nurturing leads from cold to close. Would love to hear, what do you want to learn today? There's Heather. Good morning, Heather. All right, so as people are joining, just drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from today. I also want to make sure the comments work, and then I can read your comments and all that good stuff, and we will get going for today. All right, back to business here. So as you're coming in, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. My name is Betty Kempa. For those of you I haven't met yet, I've met a lot of you in this group already. I'm a business coach for coaches, marketing strategist, LinkedIn expert, IPEC graduate. For those of you familiar with IPEC, if we have any IPECians in the house, drop a comment. Let me know if you're an IPECian. We have a lot of IPECians in this group. Drop us a comment if you're from IPEC. Hey, there's Linda from Stockholm. Very cool. May have to leave in a half an hour, but catch the replay. No worries. We may wrap it up in a half an hour. But thanks for joining us, Linda. Wendy is here. Hey, Wendy. Wendy, our newest member of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. So good to see you here, Wendy. Trisha's here. What's up, Trisha? Good to see you, Trisha. IPEC in the house. Love it, love it. All right, guys, we're going to get started here. So for those of you who have met me before, I'm also a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, and I am the founder of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. My specialty, my mission in life is to help every corporate renegade with a dream of coaching in their heart ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a six-figure coaching business. We use my signature methodology, the 5 C's of building a six-figure coaching business. Now, as always, if you'd like additional coaching support with your business, check out the link in the copy of this post. So where you see this video, if you click on the video, you're going to see a link where you can apply for a discovery call with my team, so we can get to learn more about your business challenges, your goals. You can ask us any questions, and we can see if you are a fit for the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. There is also a link for you to check out the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy near the copy of this video. And Heather, if you want to go ahead and in the comments, drop a link for people to apply for a discovery call, that would be super helpful too. Okay, so again, as you're coming in, drop a comment so we know who's with us today. Let us know where you are watching from today. Would also love to hear what you want to learn today as it relates to nurturing leads. Nurturing leads online from cold to close. Drop us a comment and let us know. Hey, Tammy's here. Good morning. Got all my Academy members here. All right, guys, so we're going to get going here. Today's topic. Now, first thing I want to say on this topic in general, if you are not outreaching to prospects on a daily basis in your coaching business, your calendar is going to be pretty quiet. And that goes for me too. You know, if my business, if we stopped outreaching, it would be crickets. It really would. So for those of you who have launched your coaching business and you're kind of beating yourself up with, man, why don't I have more discovery calls booked? If you are not outreaching on a daily basis, right, that is the reason why. That is the number one reason why your calendar is bare, is if you're not outreaching on a daily basis. Outreaching is one of the core components of client attraction. Okay. Now, in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, I have an entire system that I've built in my program, module 4 of my program, is the client attraction system, where there are core components that we set up to attract clients to our business. Outreaching is the number one core component. It's a big, big piece of client attraction. Now, the problem is that I see most coaches have no idea what this outreach and nurturing process looks like. And that's not your fault, right? That's not something you're taught when you get certified as a coach, right? When you get certified as a coach, for my IPECians here with us, which is a great program to get certified as a coach, you're learning how to become a coach. You're not learning how to outreach and nurture leads, and bring them in to book a discovery call with you. So it is not your fault, but that is usually the mystery, right? People hear about it all the time. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to outreach, but what the heck does that mean, right? The problem is most coaches have no idea what the outreach and nurturing process looks like. So many times, right? And raise your hand, put your hand up in the comments if this sounds familiar. If you're wondering, what do I say to someone online who I think would make a great lead? I don't know what to say. Or maybe you're wondering, okay, well, if somebody does reply to a message of mine on LinkedIn or Facebook, maybe I send a message and they reply, okay, then what? How do I respond, right? Or some of you are wondering, just in general, how do I get a stranger online to actually book a discovery call with me? What do I need to message to that person without being too salesy, right? You don't want to come across as one of those creeps, on LinkedIn or Facebook that are DMing you these salesy kind of messages. So if this sounds familiar, drop into the comments. Does any of this sound familiar? Does any of this resonate with you? Or any of these things that are kind of bothering you, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. How to nurture a lead from cold to close. We're going to talk about what the steps of nurturing a lead from cold to close actually looks like. We're going to talk about what does it take to get a stranger online to book a discovery call with you. And we're going to talk about how to respond in the DMs to your prospects to move them through the nurturing process so you never get stuck with, okay, what do I say next, right? I don't know what to say next. Is now the time to ask them to book a discovery call? What do I do? Okay, now, as I'm teaching, feel free to ask questions in the comments. That's what this is. I don't want this to be just me speaking at you guys. That's why you kind of see me looking at my phone too. It's because I'm trying to look at your questions as well. So if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. That's what I'm here for. Okay, just checking my questions and my comments so far. What's up, Mia? Mia from NYC. Erin is here. Hey, Erin, miss you, girl. All right, Nahana is here. Nahana, so good to see you here. Love it. Megan's here. What's up, Megan? Lori's here. Lori, thank you so much. Yeah, Lori says, so glad to see you back in your office, safe and sound. Yes, I'm in St. Pete, and we did have a mandatory evacuation for the hurricane. It did end up hitting south of us. So not such great news for our family and friends south of us, but yes, I am safe and sound. We're back home. There's no damage. All of our family is safe and sound. So, yeah, sending out a lot of prayers, and anabolic energy and good thoughts to the people that were in the eye of the storm, because this was a big one. But yeah, Lori, I'm back. I'm safe and sound. Thank you so much for saying that. What's up, Darren? What's up, Liz? What's up, Jenny? All right, let's get going, guys. Get going here. All right, so when it comes to nurturing your leads from cold to close, let's get started here. The number one thing to remember is, when it comes to nurturing your leads from cold to close, the number one thing to remember is, it's all about building relationships. Write that down. If you're a note taker, write that down. When it comes to nurturing your leads from cold to close, it's all about building relationships. You've probably heard this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's about building relationships, real relationships, where you genuinely want to get to know and serve the other person, right? Each of you guys that are here today, right? I genuinely want to get to know you, to serve you. Each of you guys are at a different point in your journey, right? I want to be able to give you the right resources. Heather Copey is here on my team. She is here to direct you guys to the right resources. I have a ton of free resources in this Facebook group, right? So the same should go for you guys, right? It's not about, book a call, get a sale. Of course, we want that ultimately. But what's really important is that we're building these real relationships with other humans, right? Where you genuinely want to get to know and serve the other person. Now, after that relationship is established, if it makes sense, yes, you will move them to book a discovery call with you. Okay? Now, what has to happen before we can start just outreaching? You got to choose your coaching niche, right? That's number one. You got to have a package. You got to have something to sell. That's number two. You need to optimize your social media profile, right? If I'm outreaching to you, what's the first thing you do when someone outreaches to you? They send you a message. You click on their profile. You want to see who the heck is this person. So your profiles need to be optimized before you can start outreaching, right? And typically you've launched your business, right? The business has been launched. Now, consequently, these are modules 1, 2, and 3 of my program in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, right? We choose the niche, we build the package, we optimize your profiles and launch the business. That happens first, and then it is immediately time to start outreaching to leads. It's immediately time to start outreaching to leads once you have done that, right? And if you have not done those things yet, no worries. Connect with us, book a discovery call with us, and we'll talk you through the first steps that you have to take prior to outreaching, okay? But once those things are established, you immediately need to start outreaching, and it needs to be done on a daily basis. Now, when I say daily basis, I mean like 5 days a week. Okay, you need to be sending connection requests, and it depends on the social media tool you're using, right? They always kind of change it up, the number of outreach connections we can send on a daily basis. That always changes. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think currently it's about 20 new leads per day. And if you're just getting started, it may be even less of that. I think Facebook sometimes requires like a certain percentage of your connections. That's how many you can connect to per day. But usually I think 20 per day is a pretty safe bet. Okay, so you need to be outreaching every day, 20 new connection requests per day. And then you need to be following up with all these leads on some kind of a sales database. And we'll talk more about that in a second. Okay, now side note, you can do this. You can be the person that's nurturing leads, that's outreaching. You can do this as the CEO of your business, or you can hire someone to do this for you. Okay, there's even a way to include an element of automation in here. So either you can do it, you can hire someone to do it. There's even a way to automate part of this, okay? But the bottom line is, whichever way you go, and again, in my academy, I teach you all these things. I teach you how to hire someone to do this for you at a rate that is very reasonable, that you can afford. You can hire someone at a very reasonable rate. We talk about that in the academy. We talk about how to include elements of automation. But at the end of the day, I don't care which of those you choose, but somebody has to be doing this in your business on a daily basis. Okay, sending at least 20 new connection requests per day and following up with all the leads in your current sales database. Okay, everybody needs to have a sales database. We'll talk more about that in a second. Okay, now when you are sending these 20 new connection requests per day, And if you ever get a hand slap from Facebook that says, you know, every so often people might get a hand slap from Facebook that says, oh, you're sending, you know, they'll say something, I don't know what kind of an alert. You'll kind of get a hand slap like, oh, you're sending too many connection requests. Of course, then tone it down, you know, maybe you do 10 a day. But I usually think 20 a day is pretty safe. But if you get a warning, you know, tone it down, maybe cut that in half. But when you are sending out these 20 new connection requests per day, and you're following up with the ones you sent prior, every day you're sending 20 new connection requests and you're following up with all the ones you sent prior. This needs to be tracked somewhere. This needs to be tracked somewhere. Let's see if I can get my whiteboard into the screenshot here. I'm going to maybe move my whiteboard back a little so you guys can see that a little bit. Okay. So what do you need? You need a sales database. Sales database. Right? You need some kind of a sales database. Okay, this needs to be tracked. Now, a sales database, that can either be a simple spreadsheet. You can be tracking the people you're connecting to and DMing with. This could either be in a simple spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, or if you want to be more advanced, you can find a CRM, a client relationship management system. You can find a CRM like HubSpot, for example, is a more advanced way of tracking your sales database. But if you're just getting started, a Google spreadsheet is fine, where you're tracking all the people you're conversing with and you're tracking where you're at in that conversation, right? But you cannot just be doing this kind of outreach willy-nilly in the DMs, right? Meaning, oh yeah, I just check my DMs every day and I see who responded and then I just check, you know, that's gonna go, that's insanity, right? Just like, yeah, it's whatever, who's ever in my DMs. Okay, you need to be tracking this in a spreadsheet, a database, or a CRM. Again, I teach how to do this in the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. Okay, now the first thing you need to do before you start outreaching, before we start going nuts and sending out requests, you need to establish an ideal client avatar profile. Right? So number one, we need a sales database. Okay. Number two, ideal client avatar profile. All right. My writing is a little crazy looking today, but you guys get the point. So the second thing you need before you start outreaching is an ideal client avatar profile. And that ideal client avatar profile should include 3 to 5 bullet points describing who your ideal client avatar is. So either you or your hired helper can locate these people, right? Whether you're automating part of this, you're hiring someone to do this, or you're doing it yourself, before you just start randomly sending outreach requests, you need to have an ideal client avatar profile. Who are these people? In 3 to 5 bullet points, you should be able to describe who is the ideal client that I am outreaching to. Now, side note, if you are struggling to understand who you are going after or how to create this ideal client avatar profile, you probably need to get way more specific with your niche. Right? Your niche statement is your I help who with what so that statement. Your niche statement. If you're struggling like, I don't know how to describe my who, then your who is probably not specific enough. Your who needs to be very specific, so specific that you can find these specific people to outreach to on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you're outreaching, okay? So you need to get very specific. So the first thing we're going to do here, once we have these two things ready, is send a connection request. We're going to send a connection request. So you're going to share, when you send that request, why are you connecting to this human, right? Share. And P.S., put yourself in the place of your ideal client avatar. You know, you want to be thinking about, how would I want someone to reach out to me? Be thinking about that. Really important, okay? So you're going to send a connection request and you're going to share why you are connecting to them. You want this to be very customized and very specific, okay? Now, for example, what is very easy, if you have a Facebook group, not all of you do, but if you have a Facebook group, that is a super easy way to explain why you're connecting to someone. Right? That's a super easy way to explain why you're connecting to someone. If they are a person on LinkedIn, right, for example, you can look at their profile and explain why you are connecting to them based on their profile, right? So for example, right, maybe I see someone on LinkedIn and I'm like, yes, this is my ideal client avatar profile. I'd say, hey, so-and-so, I wanted to reach out to connect as I'm all about building a strong network of, insert your ideal client avatar here, right? So for example, female executives, if that's your ideal client avatar, and then share something specific about their profile, right? Customize it. Hey, and I saw that latest article that you posted about XYZ, and I thought that was really interesting because ABC, right? And then just share, you know, your name, and if you want, you can also share your website link. So that's that first connection request message. Why am I connecting to you? What is it about you? So that it makes sense for them to accept your connection request. Another example, if you're going after ideal client avatars who maybe are in your alumni network. Hey, so-and-so, I wanted to reach out and connect to a fellow XYZ alumni, right? I also noticed, you're a female executive. I always like to, build a strong network of female executives. I'd love to have you in my network, right? And then your first name and your website link. Hot tip here. People are much more likely to accept your connection request if you do them a solid first. Meaning go like or engage on their latest content, right? So if you want to send a connection request, the best thing you could do, go like their content, go engage on their content, go comment on their stuff. Or if you're on LinkedIn, maybe go recommend them for a skill set, do them a solid, and they're much more likely to accept your connection request. Okay, so that's first and foremost, right? Let's see here. So connection request, and you're going to share why am I connecting to you, okay? And customize it, right? Don't be a robot. Customize it, okay? If you can, customize it. Now the follow-up message. If this is a person you're connecting to, some of the best outreach you could ever do is somebody who has already in some way engaged in some of your content, okay? So for example, somebody who liked some of your content, somebody who commented on some of your content, somebody who joined your Facebook group, somebody who subscribed to your LinkedIn newsletter, which by the way, at some point, all of you should have a LinkedIn newsletter, right? So a follow-up message, if they have in some way, not everybody will have, but if this is a person that has raised their hand in some way and engaged in some of your content, you want a follow-up message to say, hey, tell me more about you and what, like this, here's an example of, for a Facebook group. Tell me more about you and what you're hoping to get out of this group, right? What are you hoping to get out of this group? Or if this is somebody who liked an article you posted on LinkedIn, hey, I saw you liked my article on XYZ. Tell me more about what resonated with you there, right? Hey, I saw you subscribe to my newsletter. Thank you so much. I'm trying to gather new newsletter topic ideas. Share a little bit more with me about why you subscribed and what you'd like to learn, right? So a follow-up message if they engaged in some of your content. Follow-up for the engagers, right? Best people you can outreach to are the ones that have already in some way raised their hand. They joined your Facebook group. They subscribed to your LinkedIn newsletter. They liked or commented on something you've already done. Now, those don't have to be the only people you outreach to, but that's just an example. If they have in some way raised their hand to say, hey, I'm a little interested, right? Use that as a conversation tool. Now, again, hot tip, make it conversational. Make it conversational. Write like you speak. Write like you speak, right? Message like you're messaging to a girlfriend. This doesn't have to be robotic or business-like, right? Message people like you speak. Write like you speak. Okay, I'm just gonna, as I'm going through here, check the comments here. What's up, Laura? Hey, Julie's here. Diana's here. Ajita, Allison. What's up, Maya? Tanya's here. Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, Steve. What's going on, Steve? Hey, Amy. All right, I see a lot of new faces here. What's up, Alicia? Okay, guys. I'm just kind of going through. Yay, Mia booked a discovery call. Good stuff, Mia. We love to connect with you, Mia. Very, very cool. Yeah, Heather is awesome too, by the way, for those of you booking a discovery call. Heather is a superstar, so you'll love chatting with her. Okay, now guys, if you have any questions as I'm going through this, you guys are being a little quiet. Drop your questions in. If you feel stuck, if you're like, I don't know how to make this work for my niche, drop me a question. This is not me just speaking at you guys like I'm a teacher. Drop me a question if you feel stuck on this. I'm trying to kind of track with your questions. If I miss a question, I will go back and I'll answer your questions in the comments. Okay, I'm just kind of scrolling through all the comments here. Let's see. Linda says, definitely tough to know how to do this without the ick factor. Exactly, Linda. Exactly. That's why we're talking about this. This is all about how to do it without the ick factor. And if you guys truly, part of this is your own perception, guys. When you start to outreach, if you are thinking about this as, gotta get a sale, gotta get a sale, gotta get a call, gotta get a call, it's gonna feel icky. But if you're thinking about this as, I'm here to serve, I have a mission to help people in my niche do XYZ, that is my mission. You guys need to connect to your own why as you do this outreach. And just think about, I'm here to build a real relationship, whether or not they book a call, right? I have some people that follow me for years and they're not a client, but we have a great relationship. They'll send us referrals, right? They'll make recommendations for us, right? It doesn't always have to be transactional. So you have to come into this with the perception of building real relationships, okay? Now, as you're connecting with people in the DMs, you're going to want to do three things. Okay, you're going to want to do three things. One is building rapport and making some kind of an emotional connection. Rapport. Right? We got to build rapport with people, right? Second, we need to position you as a trusted advisor. So yes, we're building rapport and we're building a relationship, but this isn't like, oh yeah, we're best friends, we're girlfriends. You need to be positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. Advisor. My writing today is a little whack. And then the last thing is we're working them through 4 stages of a discovery call funnel. We're working them through 4 stages of a discovery call funnel. 4 stages of a discovery funnel. Meaning there are 4 stages you work them through until they're ready to book a discovery call. Now it depends on the person. Some people are going to book a discovery call in the first phase. They're like, oh, they're ready. some people in the third, some people in the fourth phase. But there are essentially 4 stages we're going to work them through. And I'm going to talk about those now. Okay. So again, just to repeat, what are the 3 things as you're connecting with them in the DMs that you want to do? What are the 3 things you want to do? 1, build rapport. We're building rapport and making an emotional connection. A lot of you guys are in a niche that is a big goal you're helping people do. And there's an emotional why behind that goal. So we're building that rapport and that emotional connection. 2, you're positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. And 3, you are working them through 4 stages of a discovery call funnel. We're working them through 4 stages. I'm going to talk about those 4 stages next. I'm trying hard to track with your comments here too. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Gretchen has a question. Gretchen says, kind of off. No worries, Gretchen. But do you think private Facebook groups or public? My concern in private would allow more personal nurture conversation, but public is easy to find. Okay, how do I want to answer that, Gretchen? So your groups should be searchable, meaning like somebody should be able to search. For example, I have this is a private Facebook group, the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. We are private. All your comments, people can't see your comments unless they're in my group. And my recommendation would be all of you that have a Facebook group, it should be a private space where the only people that can read the comments are the people in that group. But it should be searchable. Like if you're not in my group and you search coaching business or build a coaching business, I should come up in the search results. Does that make sense? So you should have a searchable group. People should be able to find you, but the group itself should be a private, safe space where people can comment and say what they want and feel safe. I hope that answers your question, Gretchen. What's up, Nancy? All my Academy members popping in today. And I'll see you guys on the group calls this week now that I'm back from running away from a hurricane. Nice to see you, Nancy. And then Heather makes a great comment here too. I'm just trying to track with the comments. Heather says, to fight the ick factor, keep your mind and heart focused on service and value. You know your goal is to help and serve. Stick with that. Be yourself. And then release the outcome. Your people will resonate with your messages. See, this is why Heather's on my team. You guys, and if you haven't connected to Heather yet, by the way, check your DMs because Heather's probably DM'd you. Yeah, Heather's on my team. She's our expert in the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. If you need any content, Heather will direct you to that content. Make sure you connect with her. That's the special kind of part about this group is Heather is literally here as your expert, your concierge to direct you to what you need in this group. And thank you for that, Heather. That was a beautiful way of putting that. Okay, let's move on to the 4 stages of the funnel, of the discovery call funnel. So I probably better make some room here. Move on to the 4 stages. This is the important part here. Okay, let's move on to the 4 stages. 4 stages. Okay. So now we're getting into the DMs, right? We've connected with them. So stage 1 is pre-qualifying questions. Pre-qualifying questions. Gosh, can you read my writing or what? Pre-qualifying questions. That's stage 1. What does that mean? It means you're going to ask questions to uncover if this human aligns with your ideal client avatar profile. And again, this is something I teach in the Academy. In Module 1 of my Academy, we all build an ideal client avatar profile. You have to know to a T who this type of human is you're outreaching to. So the first set of questions you're going to be asking people is to uncover, do they align with your ideal client avatar profile? So essentially, we're pre-qualifying them in the DMs through questioning, right? Is this person qualified to get on a discovery call with you, right? Not everybody you outreach to is. We have to uncover that through lines of questioning, right? So you're going to want to ask some questions to uncover if they're qualified to get on a discovery call with you. So you need to uncover some things through questioning, right? And sometimes it's just through research, right? If you're on LinkedIn, you can see what line of work they're in, etc. So how do you know if someone's pre-qualified to get on a call with you? First is pricing. So can they afford your offer, right? Everybody's got a different price point. Can they afford your offer, right? Number 2, which is a really, really juicy one, is historical buying decisions. Historical buying decisions. Okay? Historical buying decisions. Have they invested in something already that shows you they want to achieve the goal that you're helping them achieve in your niche, right? For example, if you're a health coach, what have they already invested in? Did they already join a gym? Did they already invest in a personal trainer? Right? What types of things did maybe they joined, they're doing, they joined a yoga group. So you guys got to think about, what are the types of things this person may have already bought that shows me they're legit interested in the niche that I am offering? You guys need to know that. What are the types of things, the historical buying decisions this person's already invested in to show me they care to achieve the goal that I'm helping people achieve in my niche, right? So you're asking them questions around that. Scope and need. Scope and need. Scope and need, right? So you need to ask questions around, can you deliver the solution they're looking for? Right? So you're asking them questions on, hey, what do you want to learn on this topic? Right? So for example, part of what I teach in my program, before you get to your first 6 figures, you do not need to invest in Facebook ads. I think it's a waste of money, right? I'm teaching people how to do it through higher value, higher ticket offers, through organic marketing efforts. You don't need to throw money at Facebook ads. So if I was chatting with someone, say, hey, I'm so glad you liked my last video on XYZ. That's awesome. Hey, tell me more about what you want to learn on this topic. And if they said, yeah, I want to learn about Facebook ads, I'd be like, I'd probably direct you to another resource, because that's not a part of, I don't believe in throwing money at Facebook ads before your first 6 figures. Facebook ads aren't necessary until after you hit your first 6 figures. So scope and need. Can you deliver the solution that they're looking for? You got to uncover, what does this person want to achieve? And is that in your scope of what you offer, right? Price. The last thing you want to uncover is, in the pre-qualifying questions, is this a price buyer or a value buyer? Price or value? Okay. Does this person want the best solution or the cheapest solution? Right? And we're looking for value buyers. We're looking for people who are serious about achieving their goal. And I'll tell you, same thing for me. When I'm serious about achieving a goal, I'm serious about it. I'm looking for value. Yes, I may have a budget, but I'm not looking for the cheapest solution, right? I want value because I want to achieve this goal. So you need to ask questions to uncover, is this a price buyer or a value buyer, right? Again, in the Corporate to 6-Figure Coach Academy, we develop questions for each of you guys, for your niche. We help you develop your questions and your script so that you guys should all have questions to be able to uncover these things that you're asking people in the DMs. Okay? And that's a part of what we help you do in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. Okay, just going in here too, trying to keep up with your questions. Let's see here. Okay, Alma says, how would you suggest I connect with executive working moms suffering from burnout via LinkedIn? What would be the best way to find them? Yeah, Alma, that's such a good question. I think, Heather, do me a favor after this live. Heather, will you check the guides section? I think I did a training in this Facebook group on how to find your ideal client avatar. Alma, I think I did a training on that. So Heather, if you could check the guides section for Alma and tag Alma on that training. I think I did a training. I think it was called something like how to find your ideal client avatar. I think I did a training on that. So we'll tag you on that because that's a whole nother training. Alma, is how to find that person. And we also, of course, teach that in the academy. So good question. Okay, Wendy says, what should we do with the price or value information we get from them? So good question. Yeah, if you determine through your line of questioning, Wendy, that this is a price shopper, like, yeah, I'm just looking for the cheapest solution. This is a person that is not qualified to get on a discovery call, right? We're not looking for people that are just bargain shoppers. We are looking for people that are serious about value, because the packages we build are going to be jam-packed with value. And Wendy's in my program. Wendy just joined. So Wendy, you're going to learn in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, Module 2, we're going to talk about how to build a package jam-packed with value. So if you uncover that this person is like, I'm a bargain shopper, that's a disqualified, right? So you can still interact with them and, be kind and, they're in your network, etc. But this is not a person you genuinely move to a discovery call. Good question. Okay. Again, just trying to keep up with your questions here and make sure that I don't. Heather says, Alma, I have 2 trainings for you. I'll tag you in both. Cool. Thanks, Heather. All right. So moving on to stage 2. So I want to get you guys out of here within the next couple minutes here. Stage 2. So the first set of questions we're going to ask, by the way, if you're feeling like, I don't know how to ask these questions and not come across this robotic, that's what I teach in the academy, right? That's part of when I do my hot seat coaching with my clients in the academy. I'm helping them develop their questions and their script so that you can ask these questions in a casual way that doesn't feel weird or robotic. Right? You should be able to kind of naturally work this into conversation, right? And we're not going to just plow into that, right? The first thing you want to do, remember, before this even, is connecting with them, right? Explaining why we're connecting to them, doing them some kind of a salad, right? Maybe you're sharing some kind of content with them, right? Or maybe they've already liked some of your content. So we're not just barreling right into this. Remember, there was some conversation that was had first. Let's talk about stage 2. Stage 2, we need to dig into their goals and their why. Goals and their why, right? So we need to ask at this point, if I'm like, okay, I feel like this person's pretty qualified. Historically, they've made buying decisions that make sense with the type of niche I have. This person is a value shopper. This person is looking to achieve something that I offer, right? All of these things, once I'm like, yeah, they feel qualified based on our conversation, I'm now going to move into asking questions on their goals and their why. So you're going to ask questions to uncover their goals, their dream, and their emotional why. Okay, now this is when we're getting more personal. Now we're getting more personal with people. So I would suggest at this point And again, right, we're building real relationships with these people, right? I would suggest at this point, get more personal. Send an audio. I love sending audios to people. You can do that on LinkedIn or on Facebook. You can send an audio message. Just say, hey, thanks so much for sharing whatever they just, said. Hey, I'm so curious to know, tell me more about your goal as it relates to XYZ. Send them an audio message. You essentially have two ways to dig into their goals and their why. Either you could use an audio voice memo, or you could get on a connect call. Okay. Connect call is like a 10-15 minute call just to build a relationship. It's not a sales call. We're not there yet. We're still building a relationship with this other human, right? So you can hop on a connect call if you want. So example, let's say you're a relationship coach. At this point, I might say, hey, so-and-so, that you liked my article on, how to communicate with your spouse. Tell me more about, maybe I'm sending you an audio. What's your vision for your relationship? I saw you liked my article. Thank you so much for that. I'm curious, what's your goal for your relationship? What's your vision, right? In what ways do you want, what am I trying to uncover? I'm trying to uncover, does this person want to improve their relationship? If I'm a relationship coach and they're like, nah, I'm good, like my relationship's perfect, whether it is or isn't, if they don't want help improving their relationship, they're not qualified. That's what we're doing in these DMs. We're trying to uncover, are they qualified to get on a call or not? Some people throughout this process, you're going to uncover they're not qualified. If I'm a relationship coach, I send an audio, hey, tell me more about what you want to improve on your relationship. I saw you liked my last article. And they say, nah, my relationship's perfect. I'm probably going to move them to the unqualified part of my sales database, right? So do they want help with what you are selling? Maybe I'm a health coach. If I'm a health coach, I might say things like, hey, are you hoping to improve your health? Thank you so much for connecting with me. You go through the first line of questioning. And before that, right, we got to know them. We had some customized, why am I connecting to you? And now we move into, maybe I send you an audio, hey, tell me more about, your goals with your health. Are you hoping to improve your health? Yeah, I'm hoping to, I'm making this up. They're like, yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds. Awesome, great. What's your target date to achieve that health goal? Right? We want to know what's their target. If somebody's target date is like, yeah, I'm really busy now, probably not for 3 more years. You're probably not qualified, right? We want somebody who has an urgent need. They want to achieve this thing within a time frame that's, within this year, right? So it's got to be an urgent need. What's your target date to achieve that? Or what do you hope to learn specifically when it comes to your health? So these are questions around the goal, right? Questions around the goal. Now we ask some emotional why questions, right? So they say, yeah, I want to do this with my health. I want to do that. I say, hey, what inspired you to want to improve your health? What's the emotional why behind why you want to achieve that goal? Maybe I'm on a connect call with them. Like, hey, yeah, I love connecting with my fellow people on LinkedIn who are subscribing to my newsletter. Tell me more about what's your why. So you said you want to improve your health and get more energy. Why? What inspired you to want to do that? And maybe they tell you, I want to have enough energy to play with my kids when I get home from work. I want to have enough energy to get through the workday. So dig into that emotional why, right? And by the way, this is just human psychology. People buy based on emotion, and then they justify that purchase based on logic, right? But the emotional, that's what drives all of us. Me too. That's what drives me. My mission to help corporate renegades with their dream of coaching ditch the 9-to-5 and build their coaching business. I have an emotional why behind that. So you need to find out what's their emotional why. okay? Now, after they've answered what types of things they want to learn, so you get their goals and why they want to learn that, now you want to help them, okay? So just like Alma said, hey, I want to learn XYZ. We have a training on that already, right? Now, side note, all of you guys, and this is another part of client attraction, all of you guys need to be doing some form of free weekly training, whether that's live video like I'm doing, whether that's a podcast, or whether that's a blog. So when somebody says, yeah, I want to learn XYZ, I can say, oh, cool, I have that. Let me give this to you. Let me serve you. Or if you don't have it yet, maybe you're just getting started. Even better, you can say, you know what? That's a great topic. I'm going to do a blog on that next week. And I'm going to tag you on that blog. I'm going to do it just for you. Right? So that's stage 2, goals and why. And really connect to people here and serve them. Stage 3 is uncover the missing link. Uncover missing link. You need to uncover the missing link. Here's what I mean. The people you're chatting with at this point, they say, yeah, I got this goal. You need to uncover, why haven't they gotten results yet? Why hasn't this person hit their goals yet? And what will help them to do that? So you need to be asking questions like, what have you tried so far to achieve XYZ? Whoop, there goes my water bottle. What have you tried so far? You know, if you're a relationship coach, what have you tried so far to improve your relationship? If you're a leadership coach, what have you tried so far to help your team? Right? The goal here is get them to tell you what they really need. Get them to tell you what they really need. Right? So they tell you, yeah, I tried X, Y, and Z. And say, okay, great. What would make it more simple for you to accomplish this? Right? Have them tell you what they need. What do you think was missing the last time you tried XYZ that stopped you from seeing results? Right? Like maybe you're a leadership coach and they say, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get my team more engaged. I'm trying to empower my team. What have you tried so far? Right? Oh, I went to a leadership conference and I learned ABC. Okay, well, if it's still an issue, what do you think was missing the last time you tried that stopped you from seeing results? What type of support do you feel is going to get you to achieve XYZ the fastest? So you're having them tell you what's the missing link. What type of resources are you looking for to finally accomplish that goal? Have them tell you. Uncover the missing link, right? If you're talking to someone who still hasn't achieved it, why? You got to get to the bottom of why. Right? Because then once you uncover that, stage 4, you can move them to book a discovery call with you. Book a call, right? Because now we know they're qualified. Number 1, they have a goal that we help people achieve, and they have an emotional why behind that. We've uncovered the missing link. Why haven't they achieved the thing so far? Right? And hopefully your program can answer the missing link. Whatever they're like, yeah, I've done this, I've done that. Right? I talk to people that say, well, Betty, I post every day on social media and I did Facebook ads. And then I'll look at what they're doing and I uncover the missing link. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course you're not there yet because you haven't done A, B, and C. Right? And that's when you can move to book a discovery call. So at this point, you're going to find the urgency in the timeline. So now we're going to ask questions like, hey, okay, so are you actively seeking support for this right now? Or are you working with anyone on this already? Right? It sounds like ABC, fill in the blank, whatever you offer, it sounds like ABC would work wonders for you. Is this something you're wanting to do before the end of the year? Right? So you need to find, is there an urgent timeline first? And then at this point, right, if it makes sense, you're going to make the ask to book the call. Hey, you know, so-and-so, We work with people on this every day, right? You said you want to improve your relationship. You want to learn how to communicate with your spouse. We work with people on this every day. And I think we could be a resource for you. Would you like to set up time to chat with me on this? Do the ask. But you guys notice, we're not, the people on LinkedIn that just are coming at you, asking you to book a call, that's not what we're doing here. We're building a relationship, having conversations, serving people, uncovering what they need, figuring out the missing link. Why haven't they achieved it yet? And then sharing, of course it makes perfect sense you haven't achieved that yet because you haven't tried this yet. That's part of my program. This is right up our alley. I'd love to connect with you to explore how we can support you. Would you like to explore this? You gotta ask, right? And you should be asking people every week. But you gotta get there, right? You've gotta build that relationship first, okay? So before we close out here, last thing to remind you, as we're working people through this type of conversation, now P.S., some people will be ready to book the call up here. They'll click on your profile, and if your profile is optimized, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this person that found me is like reading my mind, and they'll book a call with you. Some people will be ready here, here, and here. Some people will wait 6 months, right? It depends. Right? Our job is to stay in front of people and to build relationships and to serve. That's our job. Their timing is their timing, right? We don't push people on timing. Our job is to stay in front of people so that when the time is right for them, they can raise their hand and be like, yes, you're the perfect person to help me. Okay? So last but not least, reminder, we got to be tracking this. You guys can't be just randomly DMing people. How do you track? You need to have some kind of sales database. And that's a part of what I teach in the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. You need to have some kind of sales database, either a spreadsheet, and I have a template that I share with people in the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy, or you need to have a CRM. You got to have a database where you're tracking these conversations, right? And you need to be having weekly touch points. Even the people that don't respond, that go dark, you can do weekly touch points, right? Where you're liking their content. You're sending them an article. You're inviting them to your next live. You're sharing your podcast with them. You're engaging in their content. Even the people that go dark, you can still do some kind of a weekly touch point, right? So that when they need your help, you're there, okay? At the end of the day, being human, being a trusted resource, building relationships, being of service, if you come at it with that perception, at some point when it makes sense, you're going to suggest hopping on the phone, okay? In the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy, we provide scripts, and I coach you through how to do this in your DMs each day, right? This is an awesome hot seat topic that I work my clients through on a hot seat call in the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. All right, guys, so I know we are at the 11th hour here. So there you have it, how to nurture your leads from cold to close. This is a high-level training, right? There's a lot more detail when you get into this, right? This is part of what I help coach people to do in the academy. Drop a comment below, because we learned a lot today. What is the first thing you will try to do when it comes to nurturing your leads from cold to close? Drop into the comments before we close out today. What is the first thing you will try to do? What's the first thing you'll try to do when it comes to nurturing your leads from cold to close? As always, if you're ready to build out your six-figure coaching business, reminder, there is a link to book a discovery call in the comments. Heather dropped it into the comments. There's also a link connected to the video. If you click on the video, you'll see a link to apply to book a discovery call. And that's for us to explore whether you'd be a good fit for the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. We love speaking with you guys, learning more about your coaching business goals and exploring how we can help you achieve them. Again, link to book a call near the copy of this video. I hope this was super, super helpful today. And I will catch you guys all same time next week. Have a great week, you guys.